We've learned the stories of some of those who wander these sands. Braga, Gilson, the Mountaineer and the Princess. They are but a few, and there are many more stories to tell. Vathis the Hierophant stands as the founder and luminary of the votaries of Skelos. It has not always been this way. In his life before these lands, Vathis was a scholar to the King of Ophir, a life of royal luxury. Calamity would take him and cast him where all such things go, the exiled lands. He wandered from the desert, through the lush highlands where the volcano called to him. The time-worn ruins lured him in, and within the caldera he found the well of Skelos. There he sat in the night, aside the well, whereupon whispers crooned through the dark. Vathis had glimpsed the Book of Skelos in his youth, only briefly, a mist of memory. He scoured its pages, the nameless sagas and terrible spells of necromancy and demonology. The arts within rendered the graveyard of the universe and gulfs of space, and thereupon he saw Nyarlathotep and spoke one syllable of Sothogua's true name. Hearing those sibilant whispers again, which reminded him so of those terrible pages, Vathis sought to learn the secrets. In the volcano's burning heart, he founded his own cult to learn what knowledge lay behind the whispers and to gain freedom from his shackles. He listened in further and heard the whispers' hushed power. Vathis cast aside his past life and his material means. The might hidden within the well was worth more than freedom, and Vathis took leadership of his cult, the votaries of Skelos. Each night they march in line to the well, whereupon they cast offerings of fealty to whatever lays within. The whispers are dangerous, and Vathis believes only he can translate them. Through his divination, he prays that one day, himself and his votaries will hear the true words of the Book of Skelos. The Butcher of Khwarazim, now destitute in these strange lands. Jamila the Pirate Queen, a founding party of the Black Hand, finds herself stranded. Before now she had sailed the Vilayet Sea with her Red Brotherhood, burning Turanian sails and claiming fortunes. Her leadership was steadfast, yet her crew still found rejection. She was exiled from them, her hands burned to twisted lumps, marooned on the exiled lands. Therein, burned and alone, Jamila learned everything anew, to eat, to fight, to survive. Attempting to rebuild herself, she saw another course ahead. Barachans, Zingarans, and the Red Brotherhood lived within these lands. If she wanted to ever sail those seas again, unity was essential. She bound them in a promise. If they worked together, she would lead them back to the ocean's glory, and thus the Black Hand began. The Red Brotherhood had simple rules. Any man who could best the captain would take their role. Jamila took that same tradition for the Black Hand. Despite her promises, that tradition would prove haunting. The mutineers challenged her not, but led by First Mate Atlas, they waited till she slept before chaining her to the hull of the ship. She was the captain that had lost her crew and her ship twice. Twice the captain, twice the exile. Jamila remains at Pariah's overwatch, still indignant at the betrayal, but for now she rests in her exile. Once a sailor, but now adrift, Arcos the Wanderer has spent longer in these sands than most. When he was first exiled there were but a few of them. Now he sees new prisoners cross these sands every day. he watches as bandits and vagabonds flooded in, blood spilt in the sand, all confined by those ancient bracelets. Arcos has grown to accept his fate. He knows escape is impossible. Years prior, he watched a man die in the sand after sawing his arm clean off in a vain attempt to free himself. That bracelet, which so many struggle to remove, imbues visions and sounds, relics of a time long past. The whispers of arcane enchantments from eons ago still plague the minds of the exiles, though Arcos has grown used to such sorcery. In years long since past, he traced the boundary of the cursed wall. In the north he saw men on the other side, adorned by bracelets bearing a gem of amber, a mystery he has yet to decipher. Arcos has met many of those who have passed through these lands. They all have their theories about the ruins, the dust of lost time. Lemurians, giant kings, serpent men and Kari, but Arcos ignores it all.
Never mind. It's my experience that men who have their minds in the past get eaten by crocodiles in the present.
Arcos remains beneath the shadow of the Sentinels. Life in exile has been his reality for years, and, unlike most, he accepts it. Little can be done, and it's best to make what you can of these wind-spun sands. Muriela was once like many others, devoid of hope, deafened to the divine, wandering without aim nor purpose. Her rambling, however, would soon be ceased by a divine calling. Righteous Mitra himself, the sun-born phoenix, spoke to Muriela in her stupor. She listened in and was granted a divine purpose, a goal from which she would never stray. She was unsure of the task, yet her faith proved resolute, and she continued on in her march. She was no longer without aim, and her god-born cadence would lead her to relentlessly fulfill Mitra's proposal. She arrived just south of gleaming Twin Lakes and began her task. There she would construct not a shrine, but a vessel for her sun god. She worked hard to craft a substrate into which Mitra could commune himself, to walk on earth. Her fellow worshippers work slowly, deliberately, ensuring to cleanse all imperfections and ensure Mitra arrives in his utterly perfect form. Despite her faith, the lands surrounding her are imbalanced. Ancient wounds and demon-bound evil permeate a wretched stench through the sands. Muriela resists that corruption, but worries nonetheless that its sheer penetrating aura may pervert her creation. She speaks of Mitra, his nature as the defender. Through her vessel he will walk the world, a god coming into earthly flesh, to protect these realms from the demons and horrors of what lays beyond. Muriela continues on with her work, slowly but surely, to complete Mitra's vessel. She freely admits that the task may take her entire life, but such a sacrifice is minuscule to bring the defender into being. And there we have it, the lore of 4 more minor characters. Thank you for watching, and of course a massive thanks to our wonderful esteemed coffee cultists for continuing to support the channel over on Patreon. A lot of you guys asked for a part 2, and I hope you enjoy this one as much as you did the first. I've already got plans to work on a part 3, so make sure you subscribe so you don't miss it. Again, thank you for watching, take care, and I'll see you soon.